as we plan for Relay for Life, we hope this is an event for survivors, by survivors, and we want all of us to be hands on deck so that we can make it memorable. I'm sure Steve and Marlene, the ones that you've had before, and we had it also in Kenya. I attended one, and it was memorable. I still remember it. So we want to make this more memorable and also make our presence to be felt in Kenya as we talk about cancer advocacy. Thanks a lot, Phoebe, and I hand over back to you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you so much, Philip, and thank you. Rightfully said, this is for the survivors, by the survivors, and we gather here, just like our chairperson has said, every month to learn from each other. It is a very casual conversation, just the way you get around the fire and you get to talk. So I am seeing our main speaker has just informed me that he's about to join in the next 1 minute. I would just like to ask, we start with Catherine Garashu. And before we do that, just feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know from where you're joining from, and then let us know your experience for any fireside chat you have had or any global relay that you have had. And we are already seeing the word amazing repeating itself. Who is Catherine Garashu? Catherine Garashu from Mutual Reach for Recovery Kenya is one of the co-leads of Global Heroes Lead. Catherine is a married and a mother of one beautiful daughter. She is a 22-year-old breast cancer warrior and is a trainer for Reach to Recovery Volunteer, which is an international organization. The aim of the peer support program that Catherine is engaged in, being also a survivor herself, is to provide practical and emotional support to breast cancer patients and their families, and also to enable them to make relevant personal decisions which will lead to an optimal quality of life. So Catherine is involved in giving a lot of peer-to-peer support and the emotional support. And today she's joining us and she's right here. I would invite her to give us just a perspective. But before she does that, 1 minute, I get to admit our guest. So Catherine, you can just greet us and then you will come immediately after Matt. You can just test your mic, Catherine, and greet us. What a beautiful bio you have there. And thank you for the good work you're doing over the years. Thank you, Catherine.
Good evening, everybody, and those who are good morning, good afternoon. It's so great and wonderful to be here. I'm so excited, really, really excited about the upcoming relay, and we really can't wait to put this together. And I'm looking forward to the interaction that we are going to have this evening. Karibuni sana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure by now, Steve and the team understand the word Karibuni sana. That means you're welcome. This is the Kenco fraternity. And today we are gathering around the fire to learn about the Global Relay for Life. And of course, our main speaker who is joining us is Matt Lewis. Matt Lewis is the Strategic Director for Global Relay for Life at the American Cancer Society. Those of us who have been in Kenco for a long time know the work that the American Cancer Society has invested, not only in Kenya, but also in this region, as far as cancer care and support is concerned. So Matt Lewis works with partners across more than 30 countries to grow Relay for Life as a platform for community engagement, cancer awareness, and sustainable fundraising. So Matt has built a career in cancer fundraising and volunteer-led programs, holding leadership roles with the American Cancer Society and Irish Cancer Society, as well as earlier positions in Australia, Fiji, and China. Matt, you need to add Kenya here so that you have the wider portfolio. So across these roles, Matt has focused on building strong relationships, supporting local leaderships, and helping
Is it me or has Phoebe?
No, I think she froze. I think she did. I was going to give it an extra minute and see did she come back online, but
yeah.
Looks like Looks like we lost her, but I believe, Catherine, you can be able to take over, or Matt?
I'm happy
I
to
think
kick
No,
on.
Matt was taking over. And I just
Yeah.
felt, I don't know, I felt it's also important for Marlene and Steve to just introduce themselves to the group. And then Matt, you can take over if that's okay with you.
You are spot on. Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah. So Marlene, Steve, just introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Steve Bell, and I'm from San Clemente, California, United States. I've been a volunteer with the American Cancer Society for close to 30 years. I'm a 30-year colorectal cancer survivor, and so that qualified me to be a voice of hope and eventually a global hero of hope. So my mission is to, or my part of my responsibility is to spread the word and the knowledge and the hope that survivors and their caregivers from all over the world are able to share with others to inspire them that cancer is not a death sentence, it's just the beginning of a new life.
And I'm Marlene Jordan from Pretoria, South Africa, Global Hero of Hope 2022. Been volunteering for the Cancer Association of South Africa since 2017 and doing relay since then. It is amazing to see how people can come together, stand as one nation, not one person in the fight, and we're all there together for each other.
Awesome. Marlene, Steve, Catherine, thank you so much. 3 survivors, cancer survivors who are here sharing their story, bringing a message of hope to communities where they live and communities around the world. So it's hugely inspiring, and really hearing your voices and your introductions there, it really brings us right to the nub of what Relay for Life is all about. It's about engaging communities. It's about bringing people to our mission. And it's about imparting those messages that you so clearly did with your cancer survivorship and the words you've just shared there. I prepared a short presentation to share with everybody on the call. It's so great to connect with you all. I was fortunate enough to have a very short stop in Nairobi about a year ago, where I met some of the team, and actually caught up with Catherine as well, before I then moved on to train our partner in Uganda. So it was super cool to be on the ground there. Of course, Kenya has a rich history of Relay for Life. We're so glad that Kenco is picking up the baton here, and that things are moving forward rapidly. And we really want to engage all of the organizations across Kenya to be part of this global movement across 36 countries. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to start showing the presentation, and I'm walking through the slides that I have here. Okay. So I've been asked to share some impact, some lessons learned, and some opportunities within Global Relay for Life. So first thing I want to do is welcome everybody. Thank you so much for attending, for lending us your ears, and for being part of this discussion. Of course, we're going to set the scene. Unfortunately, as we know, cancer rates are climbing fast. It's the #2 cause of death in the world. And unfortunately, the low middle income countries are bearing the brunt of the deaths, simply because the resources are lower, and so the survival is harder, but it is increasing. We've seen a huge increase in the US in survivorship over the last 20, 30 years, and we know that by sharing knowledge and information, we can achieve that around the world as well. Okay, I'm going to start at what is Relay for Life. You've heard the name probably, and I'm sure the word relay conjures images of people in the Olympics running around tracks and passing batons to each other, and I can straight away say that is not what we're about. The relay is a part of the component, but it is much less strenuous than that. But let me start right at the start. Relay for Life started back in 1985 in Tacoma in the state of Washington in the US. You see the picture on the screen here. There's 3 guys. The one in the middle, he was Dr. Gordy Klatt, and he was a physician, and he decided back in 1985, as a keen runner, he was going to do something to engage his community and raise funds for the American Cancer Society. He decided he wanted to run for 24 hours around his local track, and here he is on the track in Tacoma, Washington. And back in 1985, he raised $27,000 which, I mean, it's a considerable amount of money now, but back then it was a huge amount of money. And that was made possible by the people around Dr. Klatt, his friends, his family, his patients, his extended network, who rallied around and said, well, this is awesome that he's doing this and that he's engaging the community and raising money. And people like Pat Flynn, a friend of his, who ensured that the media was involved, that the TV came, that the newspapers came, and made a great success of this thing. And in the end, at the end of this event, they said, well, we would love to do this again, and we should really try to engage more people. And here's where the relay bit comes in. People said, yeah, that's all fine, but not many people want to run for 24 hours around the track. So they realized, well, what we can do is we can ask people to come and walk for a short while and hand the baton on to the next person to walk for a short while and hand the baton on. And so people started to form teams, and a team's challenge would be, can you keep one person on the track throughout the 24 hours? And this is in solidarity with a cancer patient who lives with their cancer for 24 hours. They have the good times, they have the difficult times, they have the bad times, but every morning as the sun rises, the message of hope of another day comes. And this is what we try to replicate in Relay for Life, is that we go through that journey with them, that we just take 24 hours out of our life to walk through the wee small hours, the dark hours, and we come through the next day. And so through the 80s and into the 90s, Relay for Life grew in the US, with more communities taking this event on, and they refined the concept and they brought in entertainments and activities, and they had special recognition for survivors, and that there was food provided and water provided. And so the event grew really rapidly across the US through this period, until it became, well, what it is today. And in 1995, we licensed Relay for Life to Cancer Research UK, my home country, to be able to host Relay there, just like we did in the US. And so American Cancer Society engaged with Cancer Research UK, taught them the ins and the outs of the event, taught them about celebrate, remember, and fight back. So some of the important things in Relay for Life are celebration of cancer survivors, remembering of loved ones lost, and engaging the community to learn about how to fight back or to prevent cancer going forward. And so we forward wind, and actually, let me come to that in just a second. We forward wind to having 36 countries now licensed doing Relay for Life. And we do that on pretty much every continent, and occasionally even in Antarctica, when an Australian research base a few years ago hosted a Relay for Life down there. So we've actually claimed an event in every continent. But what's really nice is that all of the countries who engage in Relay for Life, they're connected through their organizations, they share information and knowledge, and they learn and develop this event together. Now, I've just realized I probably need to share my sound in order to show you a video. I wanted to share with you that. So I'm just going to stop sharing, or maybe if I can do it from here, share settings. Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to share it again so I can share with you the sound. There we go. Fantastic. Okay. So the impact of Relay for Life has been huge for communities, and as our survivors on the call already alluded to, is that message of hope that is spread from someone who survived cancer, whether it's 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years survivorship, and they're there at the event, and other people are realizing, hey, this person survived. And if that person who is seeing that has just had their own cancer diagnosis, that is such an uplifting situation to be in, to meet other people who've been in your position and have come through it. I would like to take just 2 minutes to show you this short video from the US, because I mean, the voice of a survivor is 1,000 times stronger than anything that I can tell you. So let's take that time to watch this video. If indeed the video will let me. It's going to play. No, it's not. Okay.
You want to click the play button down there?
Yeah, I'm not seeing the play button.
It's just at the corner next to the pen like. Next, just move towards the next one, the next one, the next one, and the next one.
That's going to move my slide forward.
Oh, it's going to move. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay. I tell you what, I'm going to find the link for that in just a second, and I'll pop it in the chat, and you can all watch that video. In the meantime, I'm going to show you the map of all of our partners. These are all the countries where Relay for Life takes place currently in the world. So you can see we're all across the world, including different cultures, different beliefs, different economic levels, but the event still works the same, engaging communities to celebrate cancer survivors, to remember loved ones lost at our Luminaria ceremony, and to fight back. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stop sharing. I'm going to find that video link, and I'm going to play you the video just in a sec. Okay. Bear with me just a second here. I can't multitask. I can't talk and do things at the same time, so it's going to be a little quiet.
That's okay, Matt. So meanwhile, as you join, please utilize the chat box. Let us know where you're joining us from and also your experience with any Global Relay for Life event. Thank you.
Okay, I have found the video, so I can share the screen. Okay.
I'm Melanie Williams, and I am a breast cancer survivor and a metastatic thriver. I was originally diagnosed in October of 2013. I was stage 4 right out of the gate. When I told my kids that I had cancer, what I was thinking was, I don't want to tell them this. I don't want to have to tell them this. It made it real. It made it something tangible that I had to deal with, and I couldn't just tuck it in the back and worry about it later. When I was introduced to the power of the American Cancer Society and Relay for Life, the relief for me came the first time I stepped out on that track for the Survivor Lap. And when the people stood around the edges and clapped and cheered us on, I felt fully supported by complete strangers. Relay for Life is community. It's support. It's resources. It's friendships you maybe never would have expected to happen. I like to tell everybody that you will find nothing at a Relay for Life event or an American Cancer Society event except love and support. Just come and feel the love and support that's available to you.
It's a really powerful video, that one. That's why I really wanted to share it with you. It's a promotional video that the American Cancer Society produced. And it's always incredibly moving to watch that and to think about what Relay for Life does in the communities where we are working and implementing it. Okay, let me come back to sharing my presentation with you. Perfect. Okay. So I was sharing with you the locations around the world where we have partners that host this event. I'm incredibly proud to work in Relay for Life. I have, as as Phoebe shared at the start, I have a history of being in different countries. I've worked on Relay for Life in 3 different countries, including Ireland, where actually you find me today, and in Australia. And so now to be part of the American Cancer Society and connecting and facilitating this network of partners gives me an enormous pride. And some of the figures that we're about to see here of what Global Relay for Life is just are fantastic. We have 36 licensed partner countries, nearly 1,700 relays around the world. So each relay is a community, a town, a village, or a city, or a suburb where people are coming together to celebrate, remember, and fight back. We have nearly 20,000 committee members. These are volunteers who give up their own time to make Relay for Life a reality in their community. So they are the ones who are driving these nearly 17,000 events. And I think this is really the biggest thing that Relay for Life does for the American Cancer Society and our partners is bring people to our organizations to grow our capacity and to be able to help us to reach into communities. It's not just the hosting of the Relay for Life in that community and the engagement of people there, but what we also have found is that people who come to us through Relay for Life, they learn about our organizations and they become more interested to support us further and more interested to take on other volunteer roles that exist. And I can share with you our next chair of the board at the American Cancer Society is the 3rd chair in a row whose first contact with the American Cancer Society was Relay for Life. So these are people who've gone on and had a 20, 30-year career in volunteerism for the American Cancer Society and have reached up to be the chair of our board. We are so proud to have over 50,000, nearly 55,000 cancer survivors these are the ones who registered and said, I'm a cancer survivor. We know that there are more people who come to the event that don't formally register and tell us. But these 55,000 people around the world who came to these 1,700 events have said, I'm a cancer survivor. I want to wear the purple shirt. I want to walk the first lap of the relay. And I want to share a message of hope to those people in the crowd who either have a diagnosis or have a friend or family member who has a diagnosis or who will soon have a diagnosis of cancer, that I am here, I'm surviving, or I am in remission, and that is a strong message of hope that we share with that community. And we had nearly 500,000 registered participants, people around the world who engaged in Relay for Life, in the Celebrate, the Remember, and the Fight Back in their communities. I'm so proud of those figures. Here are some images. I realize I've been saying to you, celebrate, remember, fight back, and I haven't explained too much about Relay for Life in detail, but the Celebrate is talking about the celebration of lives, which is what we are really doing at Relay for Life with those cancer survivors who walk that first lap with the purple shirt and have a message of hope. Unfortunately, we do know that people do pass away from cancer. And so we remember those in each of those Relay for Life communities. And that's what these little luminaria bags are. In the US, they call them luminaria. In the UK, they call it Candle of Hope, and really whatever resonates with the community who's hosting the event. And as you can see, these are usually sold for a donation, but as you can see, they have messages written on them. So the person who buys that bag will write a message in memory or in support of someone either who's passed away from cancer or who is currently fighting cancer. And as the sun sets at our Relay for Life events, we pop a candle or a glow stick inside all of the luminaria bags, and we pause for about 15, 20 minutes to observe a short ceremony in memory of these people and in support of those fighting. And I can tell you, it is the most emotional moment of the event. There are tears everywhere. But I can also share with you, like the most people who I've spoken to said, after attending that ceremony, this is the reason I want to come back to Relay for Life next year and the year after and the year after. Because while we were sad, it's part of the grieving process. It's totally natural. And it's amazing to do it publicly with other people and to remember those from our community who we have lost. And the third part, the fight back, which is all about educating the community about cancer risk reduction, screening, healthy diet, exercise, what services are available through our charities in our countries. So these are the core elements of Relay for Life. And notice I haven't mentioned fundraising yet. And really, we found it's important that at Relay for Life, we lead with this message of celebrate, remember, and fight back. The fundraising comes after that, because once people understand the impact and the benefit of this event and the organizations involved, then the fundraising comes naturally. If we lead with, can you give me money for a cancer organization? Then people are asking why. What is the reason for this? So we flip it and we start with the why. This is what we're all about. This is how we're with your community. And in the end, the fundraising then comes. Some other points of pride. I mean, this is the biggest Relay for Life event in each country under each category. It's a little complicated, this slide, but bear with me. Across the top, you have traditional, youth, and city. So traditional is the Relay for Life communities, how Relay for Life has always been in the small towns and villages. Youth is high schools and universities, and city is actually where, in most cases, a large venue like a stadium or something in the capital city has taken over, and the event is huge for a big city of that scale. And then down the left, we have the number of survivors, number of teams, participants, the revenue, the committee, and the luminaria. So these are the biggest ones in 2025. And some of the things that just jump out to me, for example, under traditional, under luminaria, 10,000 luminaria bags at one event in Canada. I mean, that has to be an incredibly moving thing to be there, to be in a ceremony with that many luminaria, remembering people from that community who have passed away. We have other things like Kuala Lumpur here in the top right, city event, had 420 survivors register at that event. So 420 survivors taking to the track, wearing the purple shirt and saying, I've survived cancer and I'm here to pass on a message of hope. We have other things like 15,000 participants in Luxembourg. I was at that event a few years ago. It's incredible. It's in a national stadium. They have huge engagement. They even draw people from the neighboring countries. We're lucky here in Europe. It's all small. Everything's close by, so it makes it easier. So that page is really inspiring in terms of what people have achieved. Okay, let me just check. Yeah, what have we learned and what are the impacts? Well, this is what makes Relay work. Cancer is a great unifier. It doesn't matter who you are, what race, what religion, what gender, what social status, what economic power you have. Cancer affects all parts of the community. So when we have an event like this, it brings everyone together. And the second point, you're not alone, follows immediately from that, because it brings us together and we stand together. And Relay for Life is really the place where that happens. Volunteer empowerment is what makes it work. I mentioned earlier, it's about bringing people to our organization, educating them about what we do and the impact of that. And we have created some incredible volunteer journeys for the organizations around the world. It creates a great feeling of identity. And if we remember back to the video, the lady was called Melanie in the video, and she talked about having her cancer diagnosis. And then when she arrived at Relay for Life, it changed her perspective on everything. And part of that is her identity of who she is and what she sees herself as. And so we're really proud of how Relay does that. Relay is about survivors and caregivers, those people who survive cancer, and the caregivers who support them through that journey. And in fact, the caregiver element was added at the request of cancer survivors who wanted to recognize those people who supported them. It's a proof of hope, hope that we have survivorship, hope that we have cures, hope that we're making progress. Relay lets us see the best in others. And there's so many great examples around the world, but the number of volunteers that we had, nearly 20,000 volunteers around the world making this event happen to their communities, is just testimony to that. It's a safe place to share stories. That luminaria ceremony where we're remembering people who have passed away, a moment of vulnerability in our community, but it's a safe place to do that. The next one is really key. Anybody can participate. This event is open to anybody to come and to be part of. It is a way to mobilize communities 100%. And this is something that the final point here is that I really am proud of as well, and think is a differentiator between Relay for Life and other charity events, is that the participants make the event what it is. And the comparison in my mind is, maybe you register for a 5K run and you do some fundraising and you turn up and you take your number and you run 5Ks and then you go home. Whereas Relay for Life is different. You register your team and already you're being challenged to say, well, you know, maybe you can host an activity at the event. Maybe you want to sing on the stage and do karaoke. Maybe you want to do whatever it is to make your presence felt as a team at this event. And I think that gives every participant and every team some level of ownership of that event. And it changes then how the event feels for that team. Okay. I wanted to share with you where Relay for Life is in Africa. Here are some of your neighbors. I know it's a massive continent and they're not necessarily that close to you, but Kenya, obviously there. Namibia, who I was actually in Namibia 2 weeks ago training the new organization there that we're going to be working with. We have Cancer in South Africa, who've been doing Relay a very long time, over 15 years, and have incredible success. Your actual neighbors, Uganda, are on board, and they will hopefully be hosting a Relay for the first time this year. And then we have partners down in Zambia and Zimbabwe who are doing Relay for Life as well. I want to share a little bit about the success of volunteer engagement and the journey and how we make that happen. And to be honest, this is in the Relay for Life context, but American Cancer Society is really huge about volunteer engagement and capacity development. And here are some of the steps that we use when we're engaging volunteer. And we start with the belief that every participant can make their mark on the event or on our organization, and we want to empower them to do that. And we do that by finding the right volunteers. And that means engaging with the community, spending time with volunteers, and understanding what it is that's motivating them. Sometimes it's the quieter person who just wants to give back to an organization, or who, you just understand in this person that their heart is 100% pure in this, instead of having their own gain in their mind. So once we find the volunteers who have that, we inspire them. We inspire them by sharing our mission as an organization and our impact as an organization. What is it that we do, and what difference does it make to people? And we talk to our new volunteers about this a lot, so that it then becomes their mission. They say, well, I would love to contribute to that. And so that inspiration is hugely important. But the next step comes with it. We highlight the potential that we have together. So we said, this is our mission and what we're doing, but with your help, we can do even more, or we can do new stuff, or we can ensure that we're supporting people for longer, or whatever it is that works for your organization. And so now we have the right volunteer who's inspired by our mission, and that they understand that their collaboration with us is going to create impact. They can see that for themselves, what they put in is going to have direct impact on other people's lives. But next step is really important, especially with an event like Relay for Life, is that we set a clear vision with that volunteer. So we say, yep, they're inspired, they realize what they can contribute, but we need to make sure that our journey and their journey is aligned. And so we need to explain what it is that we want to achieve through implementing Relay for Life. And this just serves as a guiding light for both parties. And that means that if the volunteer starts to take things in a different direction, you can come back and say, hey, remember we had a conversation and that the goal is this. I love your suggestions, but it's not helping us to achieve what we're trying to achieve. It's going somewhere else. So it just helps us to gently realign when volunteers are going in a different direction. Once we have that shared vision and we know we're heading to the same place, we can start really, truly empowering and saying, well, instead of asking a volunteer to do a job, we ask them to create and to solve the problems that are presented. Instead of, can you pitch a marquee there? It's say, what do we need so that we can provide shade to the survivors who'll be at the event? And the survivor and the volunteer can decide how we do that. From here on, it's about open and honest communication with our volunteers, just so that everybody's expectations are met. And finally, make it fun. We try to make volunteering as fun as possible so that people will stay involved with our organizations. We like to teach and leverage storytelling. So you heard from Marlene and Steve and Catherine, and you're going to hear from Catherine in a minute. But one of the things I think has been most impactful through Relay for Life, and also the American Cancer Society's Cancer Action Network, is the ability of volunteers, team members, team captains to share their story and to use their story to bring other people to participate, whether that participation is come to Relay for Life, or whether it is lobbying a senator or an elected official to change a law around cancer, because they've now understood the personal story of someone from their part of the country and the impact this law change will have. And so that is something that is hugely, hugely important to us. I'm going to pause there. I've been talking for quite a while, so it's a great moment for me to pass the microphone back to Catherine. She shared some photos with us here. I have 2 slides of photos. And Catherine, I'd love you to share a little bit more about your Relay experience.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Before Kathy comes, thank you so much. Can we have those Kenyan emojis for Matt, please? And if you didn't cry on that video, then I don't know. There's a problem. That was very emotional. And I'm taking it with me that the voice of our cancer survivors is 1,000 times stronger than any other voice. And thank you much for bringing relevance behind the 24 hours, because once diagnosed with cancer, you have it 24/7. So thank you very much. Please utilize the chat box for any questions that you have for Matt. And now I already introduced Catherine. Please, you're welcome, and now bring it home. I saw someone on the chat box asking whether the last one was 2017. Well, Catherine has all the answers. Catherine.
Hi, everybody again. To answer that person, Relay started in Nairobi in the year 2014, and we went on until 2019. Then, of course, COVID hit. Then we had a mini relay in 2022, which we went to the Arboretum. So we've actually continued. It's only that 2020, 21, it wasn't possible because of, COVID messed up a lot of people during that time. So here we are. You can see some of these photos. You can see past, I managed to get some photos from, my archives for the relays that we had. These two were particularly at KICC, but the very first relay we had it at the Nyayo National Stadium. And it was, in fact, I think we did 3 relays at Nyayo. And then thereafter, they were renovating Nyayo and we moved to KICC. And they were both really, really great relays. So for me, the question that I would want to ask, for me, let me answer why I relay. As a cancer warrior, I relay to celebrate myself as a cancer warrior, to celebrate the other cancer survivors who have survived and, who have survived the cancer, and to remember those ones who lost the fight. And also now to fight back. My fighting back is giving hope to all cancer survivors, to all cancer survivors. And for me, what the event means for Kenya, for me, it's Relays for Life is a 24-hour non-stop community walk and fundraising, and fundraising event where teams take turns circling the track to symbolize that cancer never stops because it doesn't sleep. Cancer is on 24 hours. Doesn't wait for you to sleep, but you wake up, then it can easily attack you. So in Kenya, I believe it is a vital movement, uniting cancer, survivors, caregivers, local communities to raise awareness, honor those lost, and it could fund critical patient support programs. And most importantly, the initiative is heavily volunteer driven. Just like you can see, good volunteers are like stars. You don't always see them, but they are always there. So Relay, you need a lot of volunteers who will be participating. And maybe the next, because also what Relay does, it provides a cultural supportive space to celebrate Kenyan cancer survivors. And of course, I've already said, help reduce the stigma associated with cancer, and also creating a lot of awareness and advocacy, and bringing communities all together. Then, of course, we have the luminaria ceremony, where I always believe that other than the cancer survivors, who are the most important people, it doesn't matter whether you have a CS of health coming to be the guest of honor. The most important guest of honors are the survivors, are the cancer survivors to me. So, of course, during that, the luminaria ceremony, the Kikuyu can tell I'm a Kikuyu. The luminaria ceremonies, this is a participation where we light candles that you saw those luminaria bags. And, with the luminaria bags, you write your message, you're remembering somebody who has lost the fight. You're celebrating maybe yourself as a cancer survivor or celebrating your friends or family members, and also now giving hope to those we are giving hope in fighting back the cancer. And the luminaria ceremony is always really very, very emotional, extremely emotional. And this is always done in the evening. And yeah, so basically, unless I think I've touched on a lot of what relay really is and what it will mean for Kenya, especially. And this time, after missing out on quite a number of years, it's really going to bring a lot of the organizations together. And in, just getting together, this will be a wonderful, wonderful time. Matt, is that the only those are the only photos that you put in, or?
Oh, I have another slide here. Hold on.
Yeah. So that maybe they can just see what it was. You can see here the top left, that is those are the luminaria bags at KICC. We actually put them around the Jomo Kenyatta. Kezia, please. Kezia, can you please mute your mic, please, if you don't mind? Thank you. You can see there, that's one of the luminaria ceremonies that we had. And this one, we placed all the luminaria bags. If you all know where, KICC, and with the statue of the first founding father, the president. So we lined the luminaria bags all around that area, and it really did look so beautiful. And then you can see there survivors, taking part in the dancing there, entertainment. And then here at the bottom left, you can see they are tents, so it depends on how the setup is going to be like. Those tents belonged to different team members. They belong to different team members, and of course, each was given a theme to come up with. And then, of course, down there is yours truly. That is with that photo is when me and one of the other, Susan, were, nominated as Global Heroes of Hope. Yeah. Any more, Matt, or that's it? I think.
Those are all the ones I've squeezed in, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
So yeah, over to you, Phoebe.
Wow, thank you so much. Could you please just give now? We gave Matt flowers. Now we are looking for hugs. I don't know whether this thing has any hugs or love hearts. Just share those love hearts. And you have brought the perspective behind celebrating that you're here, remembering those who lost the battle and saying, okay, I am here to fight back and I'm here to give hope. Amazing. I think I forgot to carry tissue because it is emotional already. So you can please, Matt, you can stop sharing so that I see any hands that are lifted. And meanwhile, Kenco is going to share on the chat box we are getting a lot of interest on becoming volunteers. And I think by itself, it's already just very, very satisfying, even from the conversation. So please feel free to ask any question. I'm trying to see if there's any hand that is raised. The question about when relay was done, I think was answered. It started in 2014 and paused a bit due to the COVID, and now it is being picked up again by you and me. So any question, or even before I get the question, we can get a perspective from South Africa, maybe Marlene or Steve. You can just unmute and give us any perspective of the event from your country.
Marlene, are you there? Oh, Steve.
Hi, everybody. I started relaying in the United States back in 1999 after my own cancer diagnosis. Those of you that have gone through cancer and you go through chemotherapy and treatment, and you're sitting there in your treatment room and you're seeing other people going through the same thing, it's almost it's weird. It's surreally quiet. Everybody's watching TV, reading. It seems very calm, but at the same time, you feel like you are in the middle of a battlefield. People are fighting for their lives. And for me, I knew when I started chemotherapy that I was going to survive. And sitting there for 7 months and 32 treatments, I knew a lot of the people around me that I made friendships with weren't going to survive. And so it made me very angry because here I am, just a normal guy, and I can't do anything about it. And then that's when I found out about Relay for Life. And when I took that first lap back in 1999, that first survivor lap, and saw others like me, I felt like I have found purpose. I have found my home. And so during that time, I tell a lot of people that in the United States, on my diagnosis, there were about 8 million cancer survivors in the United States. Well, now, almost 30 years later, there are close to 18 million cancer survivors. And I know for me, for Relay for Life in the United States, since that first lap Dr. Gordy Klatt took, we have raised over $8 billion. $8 billion. Think about that. Volunteers around the world coming together to fight for one cause, to end cancer as we know it. And I believe, and I know it because walking those laps every year, I've done a relay every year. I'm a organizer for the relay in my community, but I've done things throughout California and nationally and then globally. And now I see people walking on around the track that are surviving because of the research that we have funded through money that we've raised in the American Cancer Society. And don't think, with your relay, well, we have challenges with raising money. There's other things that Relay brings to your community. And most importantly, it brings a sense of hope, and it's through prevention, teaching people what they can do to lessen the odds of them getting cancer. Education, same way. And most of all is giving people an opportunity to be with others and share their stories so they don't feel alone in this journey. I said earlier that I've been to relays in other countries, and my wife and I, that's how we kind of plan our travel, is where can we go and participate in a relay. And it's amazing because I can go to another country and I don't speak the language, and I show up at a relay event. I don't know anybody, but the fact that we're all relayers, it's like you've already have a ready built family there. And so I think that's really what's important about relay. And people like Marlene and Catherine, I would have never known them if I hadn't participated in Relay for Life. Matt, and now I feel like my life has truly been blessed by having people like those come into my life. So that's why I relay.
Wow, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And now you're bringing back the perspective of fight back. And Paul is saying that he's really slicing onions. Steve, that's how we say those little emotional tears, saying he's slicing onions while he's watching this. And I think most of us are. You have brought in a very important perspective of fight back. So fighting back by giving hope, giving education, giving awareness and prevention. Cancer has a personal story to many of us. Many of us here are caregivers. Many of us here are patients. Many of us are carers of people that we know. And indeed, hoping that all of us, by the end of this session, we will be relayers and we'll have made new friendships and new connections. So I will just go to the chat box and read for us what we have shared there. I'm seeing a lot of inbox asking how can we be part of this year's relay? How can we join in? So there is a chat box there. You can just note that phone number. You can reach to the Kenco phone number 0799. Of course, if you're joining in from across the country, it's +254 799 400 875. It's already on the chat box. And then I'll repeat again, +254 799 400 875. We already have amazing work that is already going on behind the Relay for Life, and I will be communicating the dates shortly. Or you can also drop an email also on the chat box to info@kenconetwork.org. info@kenconetwork.org. And you have heard that Relay is a 24-hour event. So we'll have it on the Friday of 30th October through to Saturday of 31st October this year. So please mark your date, mark the email. Let us relay together to celebrate, to remember, and to fight back by giving hope. Thank you so much. I'd like to take it back to Chairperson Philip, unless there is any other question. But before Philip speaks, we have our very own relayer that is also a member of Kenco. And just for your perspective, Marlene, Steve, and also Matt, Kenco fraternity constitutes of a bulk of the Kenco CSOs. They also have lived experience, and most of the times that gives it the voice that Matt was talking about, that the voice of any cancer survivor is 1,000 times stronger. So Salome, are you here? You can just give us 2 words from your latest experience as a Kenco member and also as the last global relay, and then I will just take it over to Chair. Sally, if you're still here. Yeah, I think...
Looks like Sally left.
All right, then over to you, Chair. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Matt. It's a pleasure meeting again. Steve, Catherine, our champion. I think Sally is also a champion, global champion, and Marlene from South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us, and everyone who joined. I think we were around 60. I saw we were around 60, all the 60 members, people who are interested, survivors who joined. Thank you so much. Like we said, this is your event. Let's all show up for it. We are looking for volunteers, and I think Phoebe probably would like, I wish we would have shared categories of areas where we are looking for volunteers. This is your event. We want to make it successful and make sure that it will be the event of the year in this country, because we must be able to show people that there is life after cancer, and we can do it together. We can't do it alone. We need you, we need everyone, so that we are all hands on deck. Like I said, hands on deck, so that we do it together. Thanks a lot again, Matt and the American Cancer Society team, for your always ongoing support, friendship. It's more than support, it's a friendship.
100%. Absolute pleasure.
It's a friendship. You know, you supported us for a long time and you're still holding our hands, and we really appreciate you. And we hope that you'll even help us throughout as we plan for this Relay for Life to make it successful. And I am surprised, Matt, with Africa having over 52 countries. We've only done it in, I think there are almost 6-7 countries. So it's a challenge to us also that we should be able to inspire our neighbors, Ethiopia, you know, East Africa, Tanzania, and other countries, because I always like to spread. When something is good in Africa, we share it. So it would be nice to share it with our neighbors. So we have more and more people joining Relay for Life, because it's not just an event, but it's a celebration of hope. And I believe in those African countries, we have survivors who need to know that there is life after cancer. So thanks a lot, everyone. I think that's it from us. Looking forward to the next Fireside chat. Please join us for these chats as we learn together, connect together, and you also get to know what's going on in Kenco. We'll be sharing more updates and areas where you can join. When we're looking for volunteers, please share, and volunteer. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Phoebe, as you close the meeting.
Thank you so much, Philip, and thank you, the vision bearer behind Fireside Chat. Just appreciate him with your emojis. And even as we are closing out the session, remember, we are painting October Purple. The dates are 30th and 31st. Personally, I'll be doing it for my dad and my sister who passed on. I don't know who will be doing it for. So it will be amazing to have those personal stories coming on board and driving together to celebrate, to remember, and to fight back. So see you very soon in October, and look out for Kenco Communications through our social media channels. Thank you so much one more time, Matt Lewis, our presenter, for laying the ground, and please share that video, Perspective of Melody. That was amazing. And thank you, Catherine, for the perspectives, bringing it back home, and for the enthusiasm, the passion that you have around it. Thank you for Steve and for Marlene for freely sharing your story, and for course for Kenco Fraternity. Thank you for finding time to join. See you soon.
Thank you all
Bye-bye.
for joining. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Asante Kezia. Thank you so much.